Good morning, and welcome to Coume. The sun is not up yet, but we are. At the moment, the winery is quiet. All is ready. We're waiting for the grapes to come in. It's going to be a long day, but hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. We're waiting for some Grenache to come in at the moment. The winery is very, very clean right now. We stayed late to make sure it was so that we could get work started as early as possible today.
Okay, so we are pressing off some red, 2 tanks of red. So when you do this, you've got the cap at the top of the tank because of the carbon dioxide. So all the solids are at the top. So you let the free run juice come off the bottom, and then you're left with the cap. So this tank here now, we're just running the rest of the juice off, but the cap is now sitting here. And then basically with a shovel, we'll get that out. Poor Thibaut here will go into the tank and we'll empty it out for us and we'll put it in the press. The second tank here, which is smaller, means we can just lift it up above the press once we've run off the free run, and we can dump the mark straight in there. So we're just waiting for the last of the juice to come out so that we don't get a nasty shock when we open the door and it all comes squirting out. So then we press off the skins and the seeds essentially, and then you get what's called the press juice, which is a very different character to the free run. And usually here it tends to actually be quite fruity and not always as tannic. We're not quite sure why. If you're in Bordeaux with Cabernet Sauvignon, that would be very different, and you have very hard press juice. So the two are kept apart and aged separately, and then once we come to assemblage, which for this wine will be in a year's time, then we'll take a look at more and see what the pros and cons of each one are. So there you go.
Cool. So Andy is lowering the small Syrah tank so that Thibaut can climb in. Now Thibaut's going to bring with him a snorkel so that he doesn't breathe in too much CO2, and a shovel. Andy's then going to raise the small Syrah cube over the press so that Thibaut can shovel the remains of the cap into the press, now that all the free-running juice from the cap has been decanted into the press. It's not an easy job. It's very cramped quarters, and it's very difficult to get the leverage to shovel all that mass of remaining grapes. It's very slippery,
Yep, you're high.
and you have to be careful because if you unsettle the tank, it will fall down. That said, it's actually one of the more fun jobs in the winery because you get to jump into a giant silver tube full of boozy wine grapes.
Je pense que plus qu'il y a moins il y a de marc, plus ça va basculer la cuve. Donc vers la fin, tu fais un peu attention.
So this is the view from Coume. What you see are vineyards that belong to other people. These are not our vines, but they're still a good example of the drywall terracing that you find throughout the Roussillon, Collioure, and Banyuls. And there, on the right, is the winery.
Right, welcome to the winery. Nice busy day. We've got the whites coming in here. So we've got one press load of white today, and basically when it comes out of the press tray, it goes in here. Step this way. Very noisy, very cold.
And what are we pressing today, Andy?
We're pressing Grenache block today, really.
Fantastic.
Nice and bright, coming in at 14.5 degrees, really. So, the juice goes into there basically to chill it down. Good 2 days chilling, it gets it to 6-7 degrees. That means that a lot of the big leaves settle to the bottom. You can wrap it off for a cleaner ferment, and the leaves basically get taken to the distillery. So that's the white. We're just waiting for the grapes to arrive now. Once the press is finished, this is what we get. Nicely crushed grapes. Not really much juice left. And those again get sent to the distillery. Step this way. down. Machine that you're just walking past here is for cooling down. So this basically takes the juice out of the tank, runs it through a series of pipes which are cooled by gas, puts it back into the tank, and we need to keep that turning on a tank this size for probably 2 hours to get it down to the temperature that we want. So this started at about 20 degrees, just taking it down to 16. So these tanks here, we've got 1, 2, 3 tanks of white fermenting here. The smaller one at the end there is hopefully just about to start. And this way we've got the reds.
Why is it so important to keep the wines cool while they're fermenting?
Wines get very angry if they're too hot. They're rather smelly. So here we have a different setup for the reds. The critical difference between processing red and white is that white goes straight into the press. We whole bunch press all our whites. I find it's less oxidative with the low acidity and the lightness that we have. So all ours, apart from the Muscat Alexandre, it's a whole bunch press, so they're just tipped in, the bunches are tipped in whole. Reds are not pressed straight away. We press them straight away. We would lack a lot of the flavour, compounds and colour and structure that are necessary. So reds are fermented with their skins and their seeds. In order to get them into the tank, the bins, 50 kilo bins, are emptied into here, and so this is a destemmer. And a destemmer works with a beater that basically beats the berries off of the stems. So the berries fall out at the bottom here into this harvest pump. So this takes away the berries to the tank. And then les rafles, the stems, fall out of this end and are taken away. So this is pumped through this musk pump here and into the tank, which Adele is displaying to you so nicely. There we go.
Excellent. And what reds are we having coming in today?
Today we've got Grenache Noir coming in. The first of the Grenache Noir, which is to make a lighter style of wine. We'll have a less maceration time and the wine will be less worked, as we would say, and it will actually be taken out of the vat and pressed before the fermentation, so we won't be doing an awful lot of extraction work on it. The aim is to make a soft fruity red wine with the first stuff. Stuff that comes in afterwards, which will be a little bit riper from our older wines. We'll be doing some more work with cap management and so on, which we'll tell you about at a later date.
Excellent.